Imagine this. You're checking your email like you do every morning. There's a message from what looks like your bank. The language is clean, polished, no weird typos, no clunky grammar, nothing that sets off alarm bells. It looks legitimate. There's even an attachment, maybe a billing notice or some form you're supposed to review. But here's the twist. That attachment isn't ordinary malware. It's powered by artificial intelligence. If you click on it, it doesn't just infect your system. It actually starts combing through your computer like a digital spy, scanning for contracts, financial records, maybe even confidential files, and quietly sends them straight to Moscow. And here's the thing. That's not a hypothetical. That's what actually happened this summer when Russian hackers launched a phishing campaign against Ukrainians. For the first time, Russian intelligence was caught using large language models, the same kind of AI that powers tools like ChatGPT or Google Gemini, to create malicious code. This marks a turning point. We've talked for years about AI making hacking easier, but this is different. This is the moment where AI stopped being just a helper and started becoming part of the attack itself. The era of AI hacking isn't coming, it's here. Let's start with how we got here. For decades, hacking has been mostly human-driven. A skilled hacker writes malicious code. Another one crafts convincing phishing emails. Someone else finds ways to sneak into networks through overlooked vulnerabilities. It was a slow, manual process. But large language models change the game. They're really good at understanding human instructions and turning plain language into computer code. They can generate endless variations of text that sound natural, which makes phishing attempts look far more convincing. That's why this Russian campaign is so important. It's the first time we've seen state-level intelligence agencies embedding AI directly into their malware. And they're not alone. Cybercriminal gangs, scammers, and even researchers are experimenting with AI in ways that are blurring the line between what's human-written and what's machine-generated. Take phishing emails. A few years ago, you could spot them pretty easily. Broken grammar, awkward sentences, obvious scams. But now, with AI, those emails can be flawless. They read like they were written by your actual bank, your boss, or even a close colleague. And because LLMs can generate these in bulk, scammers can cast a much wider net with far more convincing bait. But phishing is just one layer. Let's talk about something more advanced. Startups like Dreadnought and Xbow. These companies aren't just dabbling in AI hacking. They're specializing in it. Xbow, in fact, just made history. It became the first AI-driven system to top the HackerOne leaderboard, a global scoreboard that's been tracking the best vulnerability hunters since 2016. For the first time, a machine outperformed humans at bug hunting. That milestone shows us where we're heading. AI isn't just helping hackers write code faster. It's starting to compete with, and in some cases outperform, the best human experts. Now, let's flip the script. Hackers aren't the only ones using AI. Defenders are deploying it too. Google, for example, has been experimenting with using their AI model, Gemini, to hunt for vulnerabilities before criminals can find them. Heather Adkins, Google's VP of Security Engineering, revealed that her team has already discovered over 20 critical bugs in widely used software. And these weren't obscure, never-before-seen flaws. They were the kind of bugs humans could find too. But the AI just found them faster. That's a key theme here. AI isn't necessarily doing something magical. It's just making old processes faster, cheaper, and scalable, which, in cybersecurity, is everything. Then you've got companies like CrowdStrike. They're using AI to analyze breaches in real time, helping victims figure out what happened and how to contain it. But at the same time, They're also confirming that state-backed groups in Russia, China, Iran, and organized cyber-criminal networks are leaning on AI every single day to make their attacks more effective. Even governments are weighing in. At this year's DEF CON conference in Las Vegas, White House Cyber Director Alexei Bulazel said he believes AI will ultimately help defenders more than attackers, at least for now. His reasoning? Most devastating hacks don't target giants like Google or Microsoft. They go after smaller companies with weaker defenses. And if AI makes it cheaper and faster for defenders to scan and patch vulnerabilities, then attackers lose some of their advantage. But, and this is important, that balance could shift quickly. Right now, we're in what you might call the early innings of AI-driven hacking. It hasn't turned teenagers into master cybercriminals overnight. It hasn't shut down the power grid or crashed the stock market. What it has done is make skilled hackers more dangerous. Things that used to take hours can now be done in minutes. Vulnerabilities that might have taken days to hunt down can be identified in seconds. And social engineering, the art of tricking people, has become much harder to detect because AI writes with perfect fluency. The real tipping points will come from two developments. Agentic AI. This is AI that doesn't just generate text or code, but actually takes actions. Imagine an AI that writes malware, sends phishing emails, executes the attack, and then adapts on the fly to avoid detection. That's no longer just a script kiddie with a bot. That's an autonomous hacking system. Free AI hacking tools. Right now, running these AI-driven attacks requires some expertise and resources. But what happens when someone releases a free open-source AI penetration tester on the web? Suddenly, small businesses, local governments, even individuals could be overwhelmed because they don't have enterprise-level defenses. That's the moment when things get dangerous, and experts like Google's Heather Adkins believe it's only a matter of time before someone releases one of these tools into the wild. So the obvious question is, what do you do about it? If AI is making scams and hacks more convincing, how do you stay safe? Here are some practical steps. The kind of things that actually work against AI-powered scams. Email skepticism 2.0. Forget looking for broken English. That's not reliable anymore. Instead, look for behavioral red flags. Unexpected attachments, urgent requests for money or logins, or emails that seem unusually polished but arrive at odd times. Verify before you click. If you get a suspicious email, hover over the link. Does the URL match the sender? If it's about your bank or workplace, call them directly using a number you already know, not the one in the email. Use multi-factor authentication. Even if your password gets stolen, MFA stops hackers unless they also have your phone or authentication app. And don't rely on SMS codes. Use app-based authenticators like Google Authenticator or Authy. Update your software. A huge chunk of successful attacks exploit unpatched software. Turn on auto-updates, especially for your browser, your operating system, and any apps you use frequently. Password hygiene. Use a password manager. Generate unique, long passwords for each account. AI-powered brute force attacks are getting faster. Don't make their job easy. Zero trust mindset. In an age where AI makes deception seamless, don't assume any link, email, or attachment is safe. Trust, but verify. AI awareness training. If you run a company, train employees to recognize what AI-generated scams look like. The better they understand the threat, the less likely they'll fall for it. Because here's the reality. Cybersecurity isn't just about firewalls and antivirus anymore. It's about people being aware that AI is making the old tricks a lot harder to spot. So where does this all lead? We're at what Google's Heather Adkins calls the beginning of the beginning. Right now, defenders probably still have the edge. They've got resources, advanced AI systems, and a head start. But that edge won't last forever. Once agentic AI becomes mainstream, once free AI hacking tools start circulating, the balance could shift. And when it does, cybersecurity will have to evolve again. Not just to patch software, but to build systems that can adapt as fast as attackers. Systems that are AI immune, or at least AI resistant. The truth is, the era of AI hacking has arrived. Russia's already using it. China, Iran, cybercriminal gangs. They're all experimenting with it. Startups like Xbow are proving AI can outperform human hackers. And at the same time, companies like Google and CrowdStrike are racing to build defensive AI to stay one step ahead. The question is no longer if AI will reshape hacking. It's who wins the arms race, the attackers or the defenders. So, what do you think? Will AI ultimately tip the balance in favor of hackers, or will defenders always manage to stay ahead? Let me know in the comments. And if this gave you something to think about, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with someone who should know what's coming. Because in this new era of AI-driven hacking, awareness isn't just helpful, it's essential. Thanks for watching.